Whoa. 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 And whoa. Hi, I'm Santana, aka Tana's Book Diary, and I'm back with another video. I will be giving you guys book recommendations for Pride Month. Pride Month should not be the only time you read books by LGBTQ+ authors or about characters that are LGBTQ+, period. You should be reading literature by LGBTQ+ authors and about LGBTQ people year round. It should not be something that you're like, okay, check mark, I did it. You know, same with Black History Month, same with Hispanic Heritage Month. Like, it should not just be things where you're only reading it for the time being and then move on. So I have a whole bunch of books here and some more that I can't lift up that are either written by an author that's part of the LGBTQ+ community, or they have characters that are LGBTQ+. But I'm going to read the synopsis of each book. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I talked about this in my video about books to read if you like Sinners, because it deals with racial ambiguity in passing. But also I recommend it for this month because there's a focus on one of the characters. She marries a trans man and it's during the 70s, so we kind of see what that looked like in the 70s and how it kind of delves into the past and present, as well as following the sisters who are passing. So, brief synopsis. The Vanai sisters will always be identical, but after growing up together in a small southern Black community and running away at the age of 16, it's not just the shape of their daily lives that is different as adults, it's everything. Their families, their communities, their racial identities. Many years later, one sister with her Black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. The other secretly passes for white and her white husband knows nothing of her past. Still, although separated by many miles and just as many lives, the fate of the twins remain intertwined. What will happen to the next generation when their own daughter's storylines intersect? Weaving together multiple stands and generations, The Vanishing Half is at once a riveting family story and a brilliant exploration of American history of passing. Looking well beyond issues of race, it considers the lasting influences of the past as it shapes a person's decisions, desires, and expectations. That is The Vanishing Half. Next one, The Bennett Women by Eden Appiah Kube. I hope I'm saying her last name right. Walk into the Bennett house, the only all-women's dorm at the prestigious Longbourn University, home to 3 college friends who are about to have an eventful year. EJ is an ambitious Black engineering student. Her best friend Jamie is a newly out trans woman studying French and theater. Tessa is a Filipina astronomy major with guy trouble. For them, Bennett House is more than a residence. It's an oasis of feminism, femininity, and enlightenment. But as great as Longbourn is for academics, EJ knows it can be a wretched place to find love. Yet the fall season is young and brimming with surprising possibilities. Jamie's prospect is Lee Gregory, son of a Hollywood producer and a gentleman so charming he practically sparkles. That leaves EJ with Lee's arrogant best friend Will. For Jamie's sake, EJ must put up with the disagreeable, distressingly handsome, not quite famous TV actor for as long as she can. What of it? EJ has eyes on a bigger prize anyway, launching a spectacular engineering career in the real world she's been hearing so much about. But what happens when all of their lives have become entwined in ways no one could have predicted, and EJ finds herself drawn to a man who's not exactly a perfect fit for the future she has planned. So if you like Grownish or any college-based TV show, this is the one. Love it. I really like this. I read it when I was in school, so I feel like I kind of hold it in a special place because I was in school while reading about girls in school. Dead Dead Girls by Nikisa Afia. I feel like this is in every video as a recommendation. At this point, I need to read it. I have not read it, but I'm going to read the back for you guys. Harlem, 1926. Young Black women like Louise Lloyd are ending up dead. Following a harrowing kidnapping ordeal when she was in her teens, Louise is doing everything she can to maintain a normal life. She's succeeding too. She spends her days working at Maggie's Cafe and her nights at the Zodiac, Harlem's hottest speakeasy. Louise's friends, especially her girlfriend Rosa Maria Moreno, might say she's running from her past and the notoriety that still stalks her, but don't tell her that. When a girl turns up dead in front of the cafe, Louise is forced to confront something she's been trying to ignore. 2 other local black girls have been murdered in the past few weeks. After an altercation with a police officer gets her arrested, Louise is given an ultimatum. She can either help solve the case or wind up in a jail cell. Louise has no choice but to investigate and soon finds herself toe-to-toe with a murderous mastermind hell-bent on taking more lives, maybe even her own. So we have a sapphic romance. We have 2 women. She has a girlfriend, Rose Maria Moreno. So I'm interested. And it's in the 1920s during the Harlem Renaissance. I like it. Thirsty, which I also have recommended in my Books That'll Get You Out of a Slump by Jess Hammonds. This was really good. Takes place in high school going into college. So kind of like that high school euphoria vibe. It's the summer before college and 18-year-old Blake and her girlfriend Ella have one goal: join the mysterious and exclusive Serena Society. The sorority promises status and lifelong connections to a network of powerful trailblazing women of color. Ella's acceptance is a sure thing. She's the daughter of a Serena alum. Blake, however, has a lot to prove. As a former loner from a working class background, Blake lacks Ella's pedigree and confidence. Luckily, she finds courage at the bottom of a liquor bottle. When she drinks, she's bold, funny, and unstoppable, and the Serenas love him. But as pledging intensifies, so does Blake's drinking. Ella assures Blake that she's fine. Partying hard is what it takes to make the cut, but success has never felt so much like drowning. With her future in the balance and her past dragging her down, Blake must decide how far she'll go to achieve her glittering dreams and how much of herself she's willing to lose in the process. So Blake and Ella are dating, and then their friend Annetta, the third friend, is non-binary. So definitely read this. I clearly ate it up. Also, another book by Jess Hammonds, We Deserve Monuments. Ate it up. Okay, so what's more important, knowing the truth or keeping the peace? When her family moves to Bardale, Georgia on the cusp of her senior year, Avery Anderson is uprooted from DC and thrust into the hostile home of her terminally ill grandmother, Mama Letty. The tension between Avery's mom and Mama Letty makes for a frosty arrival and reveals a decades-old conflict they refuse to talk about. Every time Avery tries to look deeper, she's turned away, leaving her desperate to unearth the secrets that divide her family. While tempers flare at home, Avery finds a friendship in unexpected places. With Simone Cole, her captivating next-door neighbor, and Jade Oliver, a member of the town's most prominent family, whose mother's murder remains unsolved. As the 3 girls grow closer and Avery and Simone's friendship blossoms into romance, the sharp-edged opinions of their small southern town begin to hint at something insidious underneath. Avery soon discovers her family's roots as deeply entwined with Bardale's racist past. With Mama Letty's health dwindling every day, Avery must decide if digging for the truth is worth toppling the delicate relationships she's built, or if some things are better left buried. I also read this, ate it up. Jess Hammonds is one of my favorite authors. I will read anything they write. They're really great at making the characters so likable, but also very layered. It takes place in the South, and it's interesting because Simone and Avery do have a blossoming romance, and we do see what that looks like and how progressive and not progressive the South can be. But it was just great. The Louise Ortega Survival Club by Sonora Reyes. This was really good. If you read The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School, this is the same author. I haven't read that one, but this was really good. Again, high school, on my block energy. Just think any high school show, this is what it is, but like they're of color, and they're all, most if not all of them are LGBTQ+. Ariana Ruiz wants to be noticed. As an autistic girl who never talks, she goes largely ignored by her peers, despite her bold fashion choices. So when cute, popular Louise starts to pay attention to her, Ari feels finally seen. Louise's attention soon turns to something more, and they have sex at a party. While Ari didn't say no, she definitely didn't say yes. Before she has a chance to process what happened and decide if she has the right to be mad at Louise, the rumor mill begins churning. Thanks, she's sure, to Louise's ex-girlfriend, Shawnee. Boys at school now see Ari as an easy target, someone who won't say no. Then Ari finds a mysterious note in her locker that eventually leads her to a group of students determined to expose Louise for the predator that he is. To her surprise, she finds genuine friendship among the group, including her growing feelings for the very last girl that she expected to fall for. But in order to take Louise down, she'll have to come to terms with the truth of what he did to her that night and risk everything to see justice done. It's a little sad because essay is involved, but the girlhood, the sisterhood, the friendship that's highlighted in this story is really great, and I think that's what makes it really nice. Infinity Alchemist by Case and Calendar. I've read like a page or two last summer and I just never got back to it, but I know that this is fantasy. I know this is a polyamorous queer relationship, so I'm excited to dive in. So let me read the little spiel, but before I do, this is what got me initially. This cover right here, like what the heck? For Ash Woods, practicing alchemy is a crime. Only an elite few are permitted to study the science of magic, so when Ash is rejected by the Lancaster College of Alchemic Science, he takes a job as the school's groundskeeper instead, forced to learn alchemy in secret. When he's discovered by the condescending and brilliant apprentice Ramsay Thorne, Ash is sure he's about to be arrested. But instead of calling the authorities, Ramsay surprises Ash by making an offer. Ramsay will keep Ash's secret if he helps her find the legendary Book of Source, a sacred text that gives its reader an extraordinary power. As Ash and Ramsay work together and their feelings for each other grow, Ash discovers their mission is more dangerous than he imagined, pitting them against influential and powerful alchemists, Ash's estranged father included. Ash's journey takes him through the cities and wilds of New Anglia, forcing him to discover his own definition of true power and how far he and other alchemists will go to seize it. Featuring trans, queer, and polyamorous characters of color, Infinity Alchemist is the beginning of a powerful fantasy adventure from the extraordinary author of Felix Ever After, King and the Dragonflies, Queen of the Conquer, and more. Infinity Alchemist. I'm excited to get into it. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Byron. This was on the 5 books to get you out of a slump. This is like summer camp, slasher, horror. If you love anything dark and gory and sapphic romance, this is it. I'm the final girl, guaranteed to survive the night. Charity has the summer job of her dreams, playing the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. Guests pay to be scared in this full contact terror game as Charity and her summer crew recreate scenes from a classic slasher film, The Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. The more realistic the fear, the better for business. But on the last weekend of the season, Charity's co-workers begin disappearing, and when one ends up dead, Charity's role as the final girl suddenly becomes too real. If Charity and her girlfriend, Basie, hope to survive the night, they'll need to figure out what the killer is after. As they unravel the bloody history of the real Mirror Lake, Charity discovers that there may be more to the story than she ever suspected. Really good. I ate it up. I think I might reread because it's really short, but also because it's almost summertime and I feel like this is super fitting. Really good. Okay, sorry if the camera kind of shifted. My battery died, so I had to switch it out. But Cinderella is Dead is a Cinderella retelling with a black girl as the main character, and instead of a Prince Charming, it's a Princess Charming, I guess you could say. It's been 200 years since Cinderella found her prince, but the fairy tale is over. Now teen girls are required to appear at an annual ball where they are selected as wives by the men of the kingdom. Any girl without a suitable match is forfeited. 16-year-old Sophia would much rather marry Aaron, her childhood best friend, than parade in front of suitors. At the ball, Sophia makes the desperate decision to flee and finds herself hiding in Cinderella's mausoleum. There she meets Constance, the last known descendant of Cinderella and her stepsisters. Together they vow to bring down a king once and for all, and in the process they learn that there's more to Cinderella's story than they ever knew. Ate it up, clearly. I love a little retelling. If you like Once Upon a Time or Happily Ever After, that was on HBO for kids, you might like this because it's a great retelling, but it's modernized, but it's also a little Hunger Game-esque fight to the finish with how they set each girl up to be with a man. It's crazy, but anyway, this is it. Okay, I thought I heard something. The Blonde Dies First by Joelle Wellington. This is like another slasher, summer slasher that I really enjoyed, as you can tell. Devin is always being left behind by her genius twin sister, Drew. At this point, it's a fact of life, but Devin has one last plan before Drew leaves for college a whole year early. The best summer ever. After committing to the bit a little too much, though, the twins and their chaotic circle of friends learn why you don't ever mess with the Ouija board if you actually want to survive the best summer ever, and they soon find themselves being hunted by a demon? But while there's no mistaking that the creeping venomous figure is not from around here, its murderous method doesn't feel demonic at all. In fact, it's downright human, going after them in typical slasher film kill order. And that means Devin, the blonde, is up first. And her decade-long crush Yaya, pretty brunette virginal Yaya, is the final girl, who must kill or be killed to end the cycle. Devin has never liked playing by anyone's rules, not even a demon's, and the longer this goes on, the more she feels Drew and Yaya slip away from her, even as she tries to help them all survive. Can they use their horror movie knowledge to flip the script and become the hunters instead of being hunted, or will the best summer ever be the last? So Drew and Yaya are in a kind of a brewing relationship. Devin is like making hints, and Yaya's just like la-di-da, like whatever, you know. So it was cute to see like the constant, like, I'm trying to show you I like you, and then the other person's just like, you know. But anyway, it was super fun. If you like a little horror, gore, summer, friendship, this is it. Last two, Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Amide. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. This was really good. If you read Ace of Spades, this is the same author. Sade Hussein is starting her third year of high school, this time at the prestigious Alfred Nobel Academy boarding school after being homeschooled. Misfortune has been a constant companion throughout her life, but even Sade doesn't expect her roommate, Elizabeth, to disappear after Sade's first night, or for people to think she has something to do with it. With rumors swirling around her, Sade catches the attention of the girls collectively known as the Unholy Trinity, and they bring her into the fold. Between learning more about them, especially Persephone, who Sade is inexplicably okay, who Sade is inexplicably drawn to and playing catch up in class. Sade already has so much on her plate, but when it seems people don't care enough about what happened to Elizabeth, it's up to her and Elizabeth's best friend, Baz, to investigate. And then a student is found dead. And as Sade and Baz keep trying to figure out what's going on, Sade realizes that there's more to Alfred Nobel Academy and its students than she thought. Secrets lurk around the corner and beneath every surface. Secrets that rival her own. Okay. So this is a sapphic romance, but it's like that's the subplot. But then there's like the thriller, the mystery of it all. Where did her roommate go? Who's the student who ended up dying? What's her big secret? Really good. And then my last physical rec is The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste. Love potions are a dangerous business. Brewing has painful, debilitating side effects, and getting caught means death or a prison sentence. But what Venus is most afraid of is the dark, sentient magic within her. When an enemy's iron bullet kills her mother, Venus's life implodes. Keeping her reckless little sister Janus safe is now her responsibility. When the powerful Grand Witcher, the ruthless head of her coven, offers Venus the chance to punish her mother's killer, she has to pay a steep price for revenge. The cost? Brew poisonous potions to enslave DC's most influential politicians in order to pass legislation that will protect Witchers for years to come. As Venus crawls deeper into the corrupt underbelly of her city, the line between magic and power blurs, and it's hard to tell who to trust, herself included. The Poisons We Drink is a potent debut about a world where love potions are weaponized against hate and prejudice, sisterhood is unbreakable, and self-love is life and death. This is recommended because it's fantasy, but also we see Venus. She has a relationship with her friend who is non-binary. Their name is Presley. On to my audiobook recs. First is Flamboyance by George M. Johnson, which I listened to at the top of this year in January. It's a like 6-hour audiobook. Great listen. It's about these Black queer creatives during the Harlem Renaissance, some essays that they wrote, their bios, and we learn about Josephine Baker, Ma Rainey, Langston Hughes, County Cullen. So like so many different Black creatives during the Harlem Renaissance that were queer or LGBTQ, and we may or may not have known the history or their impact fully. So George M. Johnson does an amazing job at highlighting each and every one of them. He highlighted 12 different creatives. And I loved the audiobook because it was like jazz and blues and fusion. So we got to hear the sounds of the Harlem Renaissance. It's All Boys Aren't Blue. That is their memoir. Heavy, but so needed. It's like on a ton of banned book lists, and I don't understand why. This is such an amazing read, an amazing listen, and it's so needed. It's real, and I think that's why a lot of people are putting it on the ban list, because it's too real for them to read. It is hard to read the things that George mentions in this book because a lot of it is dehumanizing, but it's also his story and a lot of other people's truths that are being shown and given light. So I think that's why a lot of people are like, ooh, I don't want to read that, or we're banning that from our schools and our libraries, because it's real. It's real life. It was so emotional. Like, I was crying. Like, it was really hard to listen to, but really good on the same end of things. Songs of Ari by Asha Ashanti Broomfield. It's about two young girls, I can't remember their name off top, I'm sorry, I'll put it below, who live in Jamaica in the 1970s. Both of them live on two different parts of the island. One is more upper class, lighter skin. You know, there's talks of colorism, and then the other one lives at the further end, the southern part of Jamaica. She's darker skin, and we see how their relationship blossoms from friendship to lovers to back to friendship to strangers. So what's that song? Strangers to friends, friends to lovers, then lovers or strangers again. Like that. Strangers by Celeste Jones, I want to say is her name. That is their song. It was a roller coaster. I thought it was really interesting because it's about music during the 70s in Jamaica, but also about the war that was going on in Jamaica, about the political war, the political climate in Jamaica during that time, but also about how these two young girls fall in love and trying to figure out how to navigate their relationship on top of the colorism, the classism, and just the political war that was happening. Those were all my books that I want to recommend for Pride Month. I hope you guys get a chance to read some of these books this month, but again, like I said at the beginning, do not only read books written by LGBTQ+ authors or books that have main characters that are LGBTQ+ only in June. Please read them throughout the year. Great literature that you're missing out on if you're not. Please drop down some book recs for Pride Month down below for me, because I did not even scratch the surface. I'm open to anything as well. I love a good audiobook, love a good physical book or something on my Kindle. So please drop down any recs that you have below. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.